So with that, I will leave you with Jaime and his presentation, Rigging Expressive Characters in Moho. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Am I hearing clearly? Am I up
Yes,
there? Thank
yes,
you,
and it's great.
thank you, Mario. Thank you, Mario. Thank you so much for your invitation to this webinar. I'm really excited to share my knowledge about Moho. I have about like, what do you say, like 15 years almost using this software since 2007, I think, with when it was called Anime Studio, I believe. So yeah, I've been working with this software. It's a very powerful software, and as you say, it's been a key tool for my career because when I started animation, I'm really not very good at drawing. I mean, I like to draw and I do some drawings by myself, but yeah, it cost me a little more to draw than to animate. So Moho, it's been like really useful because I can only do just 1, 2, 3, 4 drawings, and just having these 4 drawings allow me to create a lot more of movement and expression and everything, just because we have all these tools available in Moho. So let me just start by telling everyone that pretty much this webinar will be focused on the rigging part, and also I would like to work some quick animation by the end. But right now I will just start by the first point in this webinar, that will be designing the character with the rig in mind. So how do you do that? First of all, you need to understand some things about Moho, and it works better, a lot better, with vector layers. So right now I know we have the mesh wrap layer that it spans a lot the animation for PSD or bitmap animation. But the truth is that vector layer can achieve a lot of range in terms of movement and animation and the plasticity. And that's gonna be a key work for this webinar, and that's its plasticity. What it means plasticity? It means that the character doesn't look stiff, doesn't look rigid. It looks like it's made of maybe a clay or maybe something more flexibility, so the character can achieve more positions and more distortion of the body and distortion of the movement. So that distortion adds the what is called plasticity to the character. When I start doing animation with Moho, there wasn't a lot of material online that has been increased since, and I'm really thankful for that. So this level of control in the rig, I pretty much did it by myself, doing some research and some tests from trial and error, that type of things. So I could achieve something like this. So getting back to how do we design a character with the rig in mind? Well, I would like to go back a little bit to when animation starts. Back then, when everything was doing hand by hand, frame by frame, drawing by drawing, one thing, and it was a really hard work to achieve 1 second of animation or 2 seconds or 10 seconds. So back then, the animators and the of the old times, they decided that when you do animation, you tend to look for economy. economy in the drawings, economy in the movements to achieve more with less, because, well, animation is a work of detail. So the more details you add, the more live or the more expressive the character will be. So taking back some of the old animators back then, they decided that all the characters will have these hands, the glove hands, the famous glove hands. Also, this one, it's a 5-finger, but back then they were 4 fingers. So again, for the economy. So when you are designing a character to work in Moho, you start with thinking, how can I have all this rank of expressions, this range of expressions with less? So taking this all technique that having all the characters using the same hands, of all the characters using the same designs, well, I take this back to Moho and I say, well, my characters will be composed with basic shapes. The basic shapes are some technique styles for designing characters that you can find on pretty much every course of illustration, every lesson of illustrations. That if you work with basic shapes and work with silhouettes that clearly define the character, it's better. So when this little donkey starts, it was it was a little bit more complicated to animate, because it has like the silhouette was more like a real donkey, and the head will have more texture. So what we decided to work with this character was to break this character into basic shapes. If you can see, the head is just pretty much one shape, the mouth is one shape, the body, it's just the amount of like the distortion to to show the body, and the legs are pretty much simple. Everything is simple in this character. What's the benefit of having a simple character designing in Moho? That you get a lot of plasticity. You can make this character bounce and deform and get his body to bend, to change his shapes. Everything that you do with this character can be achieved because of the simplicity of the design. And I'm not talking that you exclusively do simple characters. I'm just saying that when you work with simple designs or with basic shapes, it's a lot easier to make the animation more alive, to have more movement, more room for movement. Because what I have saw in much of the animation uh, when you look for Moho animation, it's that when you have this like this basic rig like you create, right? So we tend to see the rig of the rig animation like it's a robot, like all the parts move like you have a robot. Like you see the it bend its knees, bend its arm. So that kind of make us like think that this character can only move in a certain way. Like the arms can just do like this and it moves, right? But the thing is that these parts, these arms, these limbs, it works good here in this type of animation. But if you want to achieve more plasticity, we need to create a little more of bend, a little more of movement, a little room for this type of pose to be able to achieve. So when I was creating this rig, the head is just gone mad there. When I create this rig, if you see, I'm not using the typical rig for the body, because we could just, or I could just be creating the typical body with this type of bones. Like this is where you go first hand, right? You see, you want to rig this type of body and you go like this, right? But I thought, like, since I'm working with this type of simple shapes and bodies, maybe I can achieve a little more room for expression and plasticity if I just have this type of control bones. That's what I call them, control bones. This is just a simple name. So you can achieve the movement that you're looking for and deform the body like you want it. So that's where one of the tips that you need to keep in mind. You want to go for basic shapes when you are designing the characters. You want to go for less parts to animate, maybe. And after you have the basic shapes and the basic form, the basic silhouette of the character, okay, then you can start by thinking, okay, how do I make this character? How do I make these characters do pretty much everything I want to do? So we create the smart bones that controls all the expressions and all the control that we use to achieve this type of animation, right? So I have like this type of controls. That goes to my second point. It's how do we reach this type of expressive range? Well, it parts from how do you create your layers, because we are used to believe that every single part of the character needs to be breaking down, right? Like the arm, the legs, the body, the head, everything, right? So yeah, we pretty much do that when we're working for this, but we can put special attention to the head, because the head, it's what makes the character like expressive. I used to watch cartoons pretty much all day when I was younger, and one of my favorite creators and animators of all time is Chuck Jones, the creator of the Bugs Bunny and pretty much all the cast of Warner Brothers. And he used to draw like this. If you're not familiar with him, this is the work of Chuck Jones, and it's one of my favorite characters because he does a lot with less. He achieved like a really good expressing range using that plasticity that I told you about before. If you see the characters doesn't just goes sad and tired. He deforms pretty much all the head and moves the mouth and the nose around to up and down. It deforms. It has a lot of plasticity in the expression of the head. So that can be achieved, but pretty much, well, you do with the head what you do with the rest of the body. If you're working with this and you split the hand, split the legs, the body, everything, you do the same, but for the head. The head needs to have a lot of layers breakdowns and control, so you have more control. So if you have the eye, you can see here that we have the eye that's the eyelid that's here and here, the pupil that goes big, and the basic shape that's gonna be the masking layer, right? But I also have a different eye that it's closed, and it goes with a switch layer. So the mouth has has the basic shape of the mouth, but also we have the switch that it's the mouth close, and the mouth has all these layers break apart, so we can have the basic shape of the mouth, the teeth that come up and down, and this one it's the I think it's the tongue. So now you can see that because I have all these different acceleration, sorry, there you go. So I have the teeth that come down, and it goes up, and all the mouth shapes just it bends, and it has this plasticity that I was talking about. This one is just an add-on that I did later. I created this type of term. So yeah, when you break down the head, you have a lot more room to create all these different expressions for the character. So when you are creating your character with your rig and doing the rig, you want to add as much as detail possible on the head and the face. I use the ears and the mouth and all of this to achieve this type of range and in expression. So yeah, once you break down all the layers you want, that's it. We have the hair, the ears, the body, the tail, everything, right? So when you have that, the next thing you want to do is to use your bones. So what I was talking about before was that, yeah, you want to break a little. It's obviously it's gonna be based on your character, but you want to just go a little beyond. Don't just do the classic just rig structure, bone structure, because it works, but you can achieve more if you play a little with the structure of your character. So when you create the bones, you keep that in mind, right? So I'm gonna show you this character that I was working before, just to this webinar. This is a bird. It's called Quetzal, and it's from Mexico, from the south of Mexico, actually. So I'm creating this. I was creating this character just to show a little bit of what I was talking about. So here it is. When I was creating this character, you can see there's a lot of bones right here. That's mainly because this character have a long tail and a pretty detailed tail, actually. So that's what it looks like. But as you see, this character is pretty simple. But I did the principles that I already told you. It's basic shapes. It's a simple silhouette. And also, it has the head well break down in layers. I have different hairs. I have the eyes, the pupils, and also have some cheeks to create to give him more range on the expressions. So these cheeks can come up and down, and this is the movement that we achieve right now. Because I have this control bone for the face and solely for the face and only for the face, I can use this to create more plasticity on the movement, and also this. And since I rig the mouth, I can create some more expression using these bones. So yeah, I can go like this. The character can be mad or can be sad. Yeah. So this type of setup, it's just an example, obviously. But the thing is that you want to look for this type of control for your character. You want to have room. So if you want to make the beak a little more wider, more taller, so you can do different type of emotions, like really, 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 really sad, like yeah. So I have this. I add these control bones just for that. This one just for that too. This one is to control the shape of the eye if I want to the eye to, like, if I want to really feel like he's amazed, right? So yeah, there you go. Like really, 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 really surprised here. Maybe just expand the, right? And since you are working with these control bones, when you do the classic rigging that all of us do in Moho, that it's the turnaround, right? You want the character to really go way and beyond what you want him to do. What's the difference to work with control bones instead of just the layer? Because when I was doing that before, we used to do this type of actions, like the face turn or the turnaround. I'm sorry. Let me just simple characters. Yeah. So when you do the classic turn, head turn for the face, to just have this little animation, right? We tend to just, when you go to the what is head turn? It's head turn, right? Okay. So when you do this type of action for the smartphone, we just pretty much move the layer and maybe just deform a little bit of the shapes, right? Yeah, we used to do that, right? Okay, but what if I want, when I'm doing the animation, but what if I want to give more room to the expression, like the mouth just goes like stretch more down? Well, I will have to go to the animation and enter of the layer of the mouth, and goes like this, and maybe open it a bit, and just say I want the mouth to just go beyond, right? I just want it to go beyond. So if I wanted to the mouth to do something like this, okay, I can do that. I can animate this all these vector layers and all these points and vertex, and yeah, I'll achieve what I want. But the thing is that this keyframe, it's now way here, and we are doing pretty much all the animation here. So if I want to do some retiming, or if I don't like the way it looks and change, I have to open this and open this and open that and open that and just look for what I was. Okay, so here is my keyframe. Yeah, to avoid that, I then started to create these control bones. So that's where you're looking right here. So right now I can make all my animation here with the rig. But if I want to make some adjustments to the shape, well, I just don't, I want it to be a little matte maybe. So yeah, I move that, maybe move this, and just make him this look like goes crazy. Yeah, he goes crazy. He's crazy. Like that, right? And that doesn't affect anything. All my rigging still works, and I don't have to go inside with the layers and look for that keyframe and maybe alter that. I don't have to do that because I already done that here where I'm doing all the animation. So basically what you want to do with these control bones and with the rig when you're creating characters that are more expressive, it's you want to add this type of control. Like, okay, what do you want it to move? I want the eyes to move. Okay, I want the cheeks to move. Okay, I want the beak to have more room for expression. So yeah, I add all these control bones, and all of them are controlled by a simple rig, right? So yeah, that's control bones, and that is how do you achieve this type of control in your rigs. You at this you want to go a little beyond maybe. So yeah, this characters is now available to do pretty much any emotion that you want. Also, we have this type of control like that, like he's confused. So okay, I want to show you also that I did this. I have this type of it's called GUI. That's graphic user interface that we that I pretty much stole it from the rigs from 3D because I used to watch how they did the rigs in 3D and how they have this GUI that controls all the characters, and I say, hey, Moho can do the same. I mean, it can work like this. So, sorry, let me just erase this because it's doing something that I don't want him to do. That's it. That's it. Yeah. So, but it doesn't really have much complication. It's just that you create when you're doing the rig, you want to create this type of interface, so you have more control. And if this is just messing around in the animation, well, I can just move it around, and it can be like this. It can be like this. And also, I want to show you this one. This one is a character that I use for an animated series. As you can see, the GUI, the graphic user interface, it's more complex here. And also because what I was telling you about to have expression on the face, you need to have more control. Okay, so pretty much half of the control bones that we use for this rig, it's for the face and only for the face. And this one's for the hands and this one for the body. But yeah, the expression goes in the face, in the eyes, in the mouth. And so you want to have control there. You want the character to go to scare, to love, and also maybe change the eye shapes maybe like that. Okay, so you have the blink, and let me just stop with the GPR acceleration. There you go. So you have this, and also you have this and this and this and this and that. As you can see, you can do pretty much everything with this character with his face, obviously. So yeah, you can have both control here and there. And also we have the mouth, that the mouth can be happy. The way that I work this mouth rig is that I use switch layer to switching from different mouths. We have happy, we have sad, and we have the mouth, right? And the happy, it's a switch layer with all the different types of mouth in a happy position. And also I have the same, but in a sad position. Okay, so I'm using this right switch layer to switch between different type of mouths. What's the advantage of having like this? Okay, I create this smart bone to work with the switch layer because it's easy to just work here than to go to the switch selection. I mean, if you have a basic character that just doing a simple animation, well, you can use the switch layer, right? But if you're gonna use this character in a 52 series episode that you're gonna use to make all sort of actions and movements and expressions, well, you need to have more control, and it's all about control. So right now, if I want to just create the basic lip sync for this character, I go here and I add my audio, and then I just go and advance, and here it says A, and here it says O, and here it says C. So I don't really need to be looking at the character because I'm just hearing what it sounds, and then I just use this. The other advantage that I have is that once I done the lip sync, I can just jump from happy to sad, and the lip sync will be exactly the same. The character will say exactly the same, but now it's gonna be sad, or it's gonna be mad, or it's gonna be like uncomfortable, maybe like a negative emotion. So yeah, I create this basic rig for the mouth, and it also works with the head rotation and the body rotation. Okay. Oh, I want to show you this. Also, I use the same technique for the mouth, but for the hands. I create a lot of different hands, and as you can see, I can use all this range of different hands to pretty much achieve anything I want. And these hands also work from one way or another. Right? So we have all these hands. We have the show flip. If I wanted to be one and another, we have the arm precision and leg precision. This is some of a quick tip. Sometimes when you create the body rotation, you want some arm or some object to move forward and other ones to go backwards, right? If I wanted the body to go that way, or to go that way, the arms go from back to front and from front to back. Yeah, what's the main issue I encounter working like this? It's like when you use a smart bone to control that type of layer depth, like layer animation, that this goes up, this goes down. When you use smart bone, what it happens is that if I want this hand, this arm or this hand to go back, well, I can, because it just go from front to back, right? But if I add another control bone just to do that, I have this one that controls this, and I have this one that will help me get back. So now I have more control. Yeah, it's a quick tip. You create one smart bone just to work with the depth animation of your layers, and then you create a smart bone that uses this smart bone. So this one use it, but then I can edit the position if I wanted, right? So that's a quick tip. So yeah, this. If you have any questions for now, I will have a quick look of the chat if you have any. But right now, that's it. So back to the Quetzal. This type of rigging, I use also. I think the key for achieve a really good expression on your characters, because that's it. It's keep it simple, like work with basic shapes, but the main thing you want to pay attention is the eyes, the eyebrows, and the mouth. Those are the ones that are gonna achieve you the right expression that you want. We have like this. All this can be moved around. Because there you go. Okay. And we can move the tail a little bit. Just you don't. So yeah, to recap, you want to work with basic shapes. You want to pay attention to the head, to the face, break it down as much as you can. Use control bones to manipulate certain parts of the character, so you can go a little beyond what you were expecting, like this, right? So if I want this to look like really happy, there you go. Okay. That's it. So you keep in mind the plasticity for your character, so you can have more room to the movement. Work with some. Okay, let me just get back a little. How do we achieve this type of control? So basically, when you create your shapes, you want to keep in mind the vertex. The vectors are gonna be your best friends, right? So for example, this one control this vertex, these points. This one controls those points, and this one controls these points. So yeah, I use a lot of binding points for my rigs. I can move this. For example, if I want to move, this is the body, but this is if I can deform the body, right? And this one is actually achieved just like that. If I select this one, this will be controlling all these vertex points, right? So now if I want to my character to have more squash and stretch, I do that. Also, this one controls only this, but this is for the eyes, like this. So yeah, these two control bones are controlling just this shape, right? And this one just control this vertex, and this one just control this vertex. So there you go. That's how you work with this type of rig. So anything else you want me to add, Mario? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much, Jaime. Everybody is really amazed by the way you read your characters. Also, I'd like to thank all of you who are joining us live. There's people from Nigeria like Richard, US like Michael, Mexico like Said. Where else? Gerasimov from Moldova, and Jamie from US as well, and some others that I'm missing, but they're from the rest of the world, South America, Europe, etc. So thank you so much. So let's get some questions. There's a lot of questions, especially with the way you create your rigs.
Okay.
But let's start with Bill. He said, I noticed that you have a box shape and all the bones are well organized. It looks neat. Did you do this for the presentation, or do you always add those shape boxes to organize your bones?
Oh yeah, no, I doesn't always use it. I use it when the character is gonna be used in more than one animation. Like when I work with animation series, or when I do 2 or 3 or 4 videos with the same 4 different animations with the same character, I like to have this type of my bones organized. But when I use simple characters on one animation, no, I don't always use that type of box of checkbox. I use the same as always, like just like this, and all controlled by the head, and that's it. But yeah, when I have a character that I really want to use more than one time, I want to make it this kind of workflow. I hope that answers the questions.
Yes, and
Okay.
regarding the most complex one, Sergio, I think that's the name of the character.
Okay.
Can you share with
Yeah.
us how much time did it take you to build this whole user interface, for
Ooh.
rigging? Yeah, can you
It
tell us about the process?
Okay. Yeah, it does take a time. Yeah, I won't lie to you. It does take a time. But since this character was made for an animated series that we do 52 episodes of 6 minutes, and these characters appear in all of them. So yeah, it was worth it to put all this type of detail and control for the character. It took about like 1 month, I think, because this was the first character that I make this. I did this animated series back in 2018, and back then I encountered the problem that I wanted to do this animated series, and where not a lot of animators here in Mexico knows how to use Moho. So I want this character to be as easy as possible for an amateur, well, not amateur animator, but an animator new to Moho can work with. So, and it went really well. The process that I use was, first of all, I create, well, we create, because I work with a team. it's a manual. So where we have the character, I have the different views, I have different expressions that I wanted to achieve. I have all different hands that I wanted to use, different arms that I wanted to create some. And we did this for pretty much every character in the series. Once I have this, here I have some basic expression for the face, actually. And here, this it's what told me that I need to have control on the eyelashes, on the eyelids, so the eyes can get closed. This is what it told me that the mouth need to have more plasticity, to have changed these different forms. All these characters were used in the series. So yeah, as you can see, I plan a little bit up front. Here are the different mouth shapes, here with lips up front. So once I have this, and once I knew what my character needs to do, that's when I started to create this. And I say, okay, I need to control the eyelids. So I create a control for the eyelids. So I can achieve those expressions, right? So yeah, it took about 1 month to be fully complete because yeah, it's a very complex character, but it was able to achieve a lot of animation, and it works for the 52 episodes. It worked for
Perfect.
yeah.
Another question from
Mhm.
Christiana. How can I make that point bone?
The sorry, what? The bugs?
Yeah, she refers to that kind of bone.
Oh, this bone,
Yeah, the circular one.
oh yeah, yes, this is just a click. It only exists in the Moho 12, I think. From Moho 12, it's just a point. You
Yeah,
just create
starting from a hotel.
Moho 12, yeah. It's just a point bone. And yeah, when you guys add this type of bones, for me it was like, oh my god, yeah, I got it.
So you
Yeah,
just have to add bone on the
add
tool.
bone tool, and just
One
one
click.
click. If you
Exactly.
drag, you create the other one. If you one click, you create this one.
Perfect. Thank you
There you go.
for sharing it. Another question from Brandon. This is a very interesting question. Do you use Vitruvian Bones in your rigs? I didn't see them on the Sergio rig.
Oh, the Sergio was done in the 12, in the version the Moho 12. So I didn't have Vitruvian Bones there, I think, or yeah, I did. I don't remember quite well. But no, here I didn't use Vitruvian Bones, but I use it on the Quetzal. So I use it here to create a different shape of the wings. Okay, this master bone controls Vitruvian Bones. It's a switch. It's like here. I just have, let me just show you. I have this one. This is a Vitruvian. I'm just going in disable, and there you go. Yes, I have this 1, 2, 3, and this four wings, 4 different wings. And I create the Vitruvian, and then I add a smart bone layer for the switch. So I don't need to go to Vitruvian and then select here. And so yeah, it's pretty much it's all about automatization. Yeah, you can see. So once I have this the wing here, I can just deform whatever I wanted. And if I don't want that wing, I just switch here like this.
Perfect. Let me check.
Mm-hmm.
Paola Lasso, she says, not a question, but what an amazing job. I've never seen a rigging as pro as yours. Congratulations and Viva Mexico.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, Viva Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico in Spanish. Alberto also says, very resourceful and helpful too. Helder says, wow, 1 month. Is it possible to use a rigging control setup for more than one character to save time? Or
Yes. Thank you for asking. Yes, this one was used to for the other characters too. The other characters also have this one, and the only thing I did was to import this character into another file. Pretty much, well, not erase, but yeah, I erased pretty much everything except for the head, because the head is the one that this controls the most. So I've erased pretty much everything, because all the other stuff like the body and everything, it doesn't work for the other characters because it has different designs. But for example, I use the same for the sister that looks like, well, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, I recycle this box, the G box, and I recycle about half of the actions that it's here, because when you import the bone layer into another file, you get all the actions. So once you have this, the Gbox and everything you want into another file or another character, you just erase what you don't need, and the other things you just well, edit. I mean, if you need more the eye to be bigger, you can just make the eye bigger and edit everything you want, and all of the controls will be exactly the same. I mean, all of this will work the same. That's the magic of Moho.
And
So
another question is like for creating rigging controller interface that you created.
yeah.
When do you feel you need to stop making controllers?
Okay. When do you feel you need to stop making controllers? Honestly, when you are when you work with this method, when you have all of these controllers and all your character can do a lot of range of emotions, you pretty much don't stop, because when you reach a certain part of the animation, maybe you want the character to eat jalapeno and goes and the face goes red, and maybe change his expression a little more. So you add it. You when like this, you create another bone, maybe like like here. Sorry, you create another bone, like maybe here in the head. Yeah, you wanted to be this one, like red face. You add it. You create the action red face. You go and you create what you wanted to do. Where is the head? Head. Here it is. Okay, that's a bit too much, but yeah, it's gonna make it shaded. And now the color is just went to good. Yeah, so you want the red face, right? Because he ate a jalapeno. So you now have another one here to control that. And the magic of Moho is that that control is just there when you wanted to use it. So yeah, don't stop. Don't stop. If you are doing the animation and you feel like you need to add another bone to control certain parts, or another one to control certain things, you go for it, because that will give your character more plasticity and will able to achieve more than you were expecting. So yeah, don't stop. You just go for it. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, and to add something else, it's that when you create all these control bones and all these bones, and you're doing the animation, and you need to do a retiming, because that happens to me a lot back then. That I didn't like maybe the animation, the fast, the how fast it do the motion, something. I just take the keyframes, just take the keyframes, and yeah, I'll just expand them, moving around. And since we are working with only bones and control bones, all we do here it's controlling the character. So it's a great benefit to work with more bones rather than to do the animation with the form. Obviously, if you the advantage part is that if you have some complicated animation to do, like when here, let me see, maybe this. Okay, yeah, the character goes way beyond the camera, and if you see, it spans the mouth, the eyes go down, the ears go down. All of this was able to achieve because I have this type of bones, right? I can move this one around, I can move it up and down. But once I finished my animation, I decided to add some layer animation here because I didn't like the shape that I was achieving, right? I didn't like the shape. So once I was done with the animation and I was happy with the timing, I get back and and maybe here I can add some detail in the hair and doing because that, but all of that it's some extra details that you can add after you finish your bone animation. So what happens maybe like here in the Quetzal, like maybe some when I'm doing the animation, I certainly don't like this shape, right? It's just a little bit awkward maybe, but I like the pose. Okay, I just leave it like that. Just continue with the animation, and once I done, I just get back, go to the head. Now, yeah. But this is important. Once I done, once I'm happy with it, because retiming all of this is just it's a pain. So yeah. So now I can just go here and fix this shape like this. And then I have the pose that I want in the shape that I want and all of these ones. But all of this detail can be added later. That's also one of the magic of Moho and working with rigging animation. Even if you don't like the shape, or if you don't like the form, you can always, if you are working with vector layers, you can always get back and fix details here and there.
Mhm. And I mean, another question related to the tools that you have on the main panel. That mind tools, we know those are scripts. Do you use many scripts for rigging and animating?
No, I don't use. I still don't use scripts. I actually love the webinar you guys did about creating a script for Moho, and I'm planning to add that knowledge to my basic knowledge about Moho. So maybe soon. But right now, no, I don't use scripts.
Mm-hmm. So that mind tools, mind animation, you just add it
Okay,
to
at
your
this one, yes. Oh,
imports.
yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. Where, yeah, this is scripts, but this is our basic scripts, just to fade in, fade out, fade in, fade out, set frame to 0, delay animation, just to move the set origin, just a little extra stuff for to work with Moho. It's just that.
Mm-hmm. And we see the clock, and I think we are ending, unfortunately, our webinar.
Oh yeah.
But before we go, one last question. And there was somebody I can't remember who asked, but what would you say to anybody who's starting with Moho, is a newbie, and would like to make something similar for their character?
Okay, if you're starting to use Moho, the first tip I want to give you is forget everything you know about software animation. Because if you are coming to Moho from Toon Boom or from Adobe Photoshop or from After Effects, you're gonna encounter a lot of setback in the way the tools work, because the way that the Moho works, it's a bit different to other software. But so you try to um, get into Moho with a set of mind that you're gonna learn a powerful tool, but it's different from the other. So you need to get that in mind, so you understand maybe that this type of control in the characters, everything, you are going to achieve that, but it's gonna work different a bit different from other softwares. So that's that. And if you want to achieve this, start simple. Start with basic shapes. Start with maybe just work on the face, because that's something that I've seen in other animators or beginner amateur animators that I've seen in the Facebook groups and YouTube and all the parts, that you go you approach the character from the whole character, and maybe you want to start just approaching the character from the face, because the face is the expression of the character, is what made the characters looks alive. So start with the face and approach the face with all you have. So, and from that, you just go to the body and everything else. But yeah, put special attention on the face. The face is it's what achieves the expressions.
And before we go, so we don't forget, if you can just show once again the controllers and the ring controllers, the user interface that you created, for example, in Sergio, is that one layer? Is it all drawn in Moho?
It's all drawn in Moho. It's one layer. It's called G. Here it is. And it's actually, when I create it, I just go to General and I say, don't render this layer. So once it's done render this layer, I can put it anywhere I want and it won't mess with my render.
Perfect. Thank you
So
so
that's it. And
much.
okay, sorry. Let me add
Yes.
that if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll be putting this. Actually, I already have one video of Sergio, like a sample animation from Sergio and the GUI, and you can find the Moho file. So if you want to work with this type of that I already create, so if you want to download it and use it on your files, that's fine for me. You will find it on my
Well,
YouTube channel.
that's really incredible, Jaime. Thank you so much. Everyone loved your presentation, and thank you all who joined us. Before we go, I just want to share one last bit of information.
Okay.
So learn more about Moho in our website, mohoanimation.com. As many of you asked, this webinar is being recorded and will be shared on our YouTube channel, Moho Animation. We also will notify you through our other social media channels as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And once again, for more information about Jaime and his projects, don't forget to follow him on Instagram as Neothai, Facebook, JJGatoMalo Studio, his YouTube channel, as he just mentioned, where you can find more about Sergio and download the rig, and the website JJGatoMalo.com.
Yes.
So with that, once again, thank you so much, Jaime.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. I really enjoy
And
it.
thank you all for joining us. Thanks. So stay tuned for more webinars and more tutorials and anything related to Moho in our social media channels. See you next time. Bye bye. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.